she, being the girl, giggled a little bit and said, "It's two brides." At that point, I stopped what I was doing. I looked at them. I said, "I'm sorry. May have wasted your time. We don't do same-sex marriages." I'd rather stand up for what I believe in and what I feel is right and get totally annihilated when it comes in the end than to bow down to this and say, "Go ahead," because that sets the standard for the next.
That's Christian baker Aaron Klein remaining adamant about his religious beliefs even after losing his bakery.
Yeah, Melissa and Aaron Klein made national headlines, as you may recall, last year after turning away a same-sex couple based on their Christian beliefs, but they were still fined $135,000 for refusing to bake that cake. There is a silver lining, though, for the couple. They were able to raise more than $358,000 on a religious crowdfunding site to pay that fine. But the incident exposes a bigger issue at hand for businesses and their right to religious and economic liberty.
Yeah, for more on this, we have Bill Walton. He's the former Allied Capital chairman. Also joining me on the anchor desk, Miranda Kahn. And first of all, Bill, welcome to Newsmax Prime. A lot of people talking about this. We see how the ruling is affecting a family-owned business like the Klein's Bakery. But you really believe that this could have far-reaching effects on all American businesses, no matter the size. Is that correct?
Well, yes. I spent about 4 decades on Wall Street and in business, and I primarily thought of myself as not a social conservative, but rather an economic conservative and libertarian. But over the course of the last couple of years, I've come to think that business cannot ignore the fact that the business of America is not just business. Business of America needs to be preserving our freedoms, whether it's religious, speech, association, yes, economic liberty. And with the Supreme Court ruling redefining marriage to a same-sex definition, it goes right at the heart of the religious beliefs of tens of millions of Americans and the right to practice those beliefs. And I think businesses who ignore these attacks on beliefs do so at their peril.
So in your opinion, how safe are our economic freedoms?
Well, not very. We have a ruling that was 5-4 ruling by 4 progressive judges and Kennedy, and it was based on a prevailing feeling that, redefining marriage would be a good thing, these 5 thought. What's to say that, if somebody decides it's a good idea for the federal government to have a 25% stake in each business because it's having a hard time paying its bills, and you take it to the court, and, well, they decide that's a good idea too. So it's a slippery slope to move from religious freedom down to economic freedom. And when you have people finding things in the Constitution that simply aren't there, they can find anything. So it's not just about religion.
You know, Bill, you've been very critical of the progressive left. You believe they have an agenda. Why are you so fearful of what liberals plan to do in this country?
Well, I think it's a question of where moral authority comes from. If you come back to this issue at hand, it's a direct attack on the churches and synagogues where most of our cultural values originate and where people learn about good and evil, and they learn the virtues that they conduct their lives with. And I think this issue bears on attacking those institutions. If you read the Supreme Court decisions or the arguments, what they're arguing was, well, the state's going to decide this, the state's going to decide that, and they're really thinking that the thinking now is that if you can get all the moral authority in the state, then there won't be the moral authority coming from the churches. I mean, look at the deconstruction of the family, the Boy Scouts, all the cultural institutions that we've typically relied on for moral authority. Those are being eroded, and I believe it's part of an agenda.
Bill, a lot of conservatives are concerned that the IRS is going to go after them. Do you share their concern?
IRS going after us because we're speaking our beliefs or for other reasons?
They're worried that they'll lose their tax-exempt status.
Oh, I see. The churches. Yes, I think it's a real consideration because if you there's already the next step in this culture war is that people who are fighting for same-sex marriage are now saying that anybody who believes that marriage is between a man and a woman is disobeying the Constitution or the law the Constitution that the 5 judges found, and that they would then have a basis to remove tax-exempt status from these churches.
But it's not just churches. They're also concerned about religious schools, private schools.
schools, any nonprofit that depends on tax exempt status who believes or articulates and advocates their views about marriage would come under scrutiny.
So, Bill, 20 seconds. Just if you had anything to say to business leaders out there, what would you say as far as them standing strong?
I would say get engaged in this fight, because it's not just about religious liberty, it's about liberty in America. And if we can have a court that redefines religious liberty in a way it has, they can redefine any others. I would think that there's a big stake in who is elected president in 2016, because there will be judges coming up, and it's important that we have a majority on the court that will rule in a way that protects freedom in this country. All
right, we're going to leave it there. Elections do matter. Bill Walton, thank you so much for your comments, and we want to hear from you as well. Send us your comments via email to newsmaxprime@newsmaxtv.com.